All right, so just coming off last week, obviously, it was disappointing to come up short in that game. Obviously, we knew it was going to be a 60-minute battle, and it definitely was that. It was two of the better teams in our league, and you're going on the road. We didn't start like we wanted to. We fell behind. We had 3 turnovers in our first 16 plays offensively, something that we definitely can't have. But I was really proud of our team in general, just how we responded to those situations. Defense was able to hold them to field goals throughout that stretch to keep us in the game. I thought our sideline energy, the mentality of our guys, nobody there was no complaining. There was nobody was going bickering back and forth. We just went out there and played the next play. It was good to see our guys respond and put ourselves in a position to have a chance to win the game. But obviously we came up short in that regards. A lot of things that we got to continue to grow from. We mentioned the turnovers. We got to eliminate giving up the big play defensively. They were able to hit a couple runs on us and a couple down the field shots. That's something that we've got to get better at. Special teams, I thought played well. We didn't really have as many opportunities. Kind of a neutral game in that regards, but our guys did what we needed to do when they were asked. And so that leading towards this week, we played another one of the top teams in the American Conference, one of the top teams in the country. This Tulane team is the best Tulane team that we've played since we've been here. You sit there and you watch them. They've been incredible, really, in every game. The only game that they came up short was on the road against Auburn, and really that was a 60-minute battle for them. And they played extremely well defensively. I think you look at what they're doing, the ways that they attack. This has been a defense that has continued to get better each and every year. They've recruited extremely well. They're being very impactful. Creating takeaways, creating the negative play. That was something that hurt us last year. You look at them offensively; it's one of the most explosive offenses in the country. I think they're averaging over 6 yards per rush attempt, but also being able to push the ball down the field. A lot of versatility in who they're getting the ball to, how they're getting the ball to them. I think it's going to be a great challenge for our defense here once again this week. And then just like this game, every year it's going to be a battle in special teams. Coach Fritz runs their special teams. I think he's one of the best coaches in the country, and it's always a chess match when these two teams match up. They're in special teams units, and that's going to play a big part of this game. But we're excited about being back in the Liberty Bowl. It's kind of a unique year when it comes to our schedule. This is our only October game here at home, so we're expecting a big crowd. We need to have a great crowd. It needs to be a wonderful home field advantage for us. We're excited about getting back on the field and going to work with our preparation for what's going to be an absolute necessity for us to have a chance to put ourselves in a good position here come Saturday.
How do you guys obviously talked about moving on to the next play, but obviously getting over the fourth down call, how do you guys just move on from that and not let that affect your preparation now for Tulane?
Really, it's more than just any one play from last week. I mean, we went back and watched the game film, and there's probably about 35 different plays that would have changed the impact of that game. And I know offensively, you look at the 4 turnovers. Those were all critical, but there were probably another 15 offensive plays that at any point, if we would have had everybody executing the job that was asked, then it would have been a different outcome. There were probably 5 different play calls that I would have liked to have had back in that game. And so, like I tell the players, it's I mean, everybody's involved. I mean, it's I didn't have my best day there on Saturday when it comes to calling plays and the things that we wanted to do. I thought the positives of it were you saw our offense when we weren't. When we didn't have the negatives, I mean, we really that was a good defense, and we were able to move the ball. We were balanced, in a sense of being able to run the football. I thought Kenny had a really nice day. Kylan showed up, did some nice things, but then we threw the ball vertically down the field as good as we have probably since I've been here, and so there are some encouraging moments that come from that. Defensively. we had to, we were put in some tough situations, and we had to have stops, and we found a way to create stops. The negative is you look at all their touchdown drives, there was a big play involved in every one of those drives. And so that's what we've got to get corrected. You go back through that game, and I know a lot of attention has gone to one play in that game, but really I'm past that play. That play we have no control over what the call was, what ended up going on. I want to focus on the other plays that really did impact us coming up short.
Speaking of that, Coach, you say, okay, you move past it and all. How long do you think it'll take when you look in the guys' eyes and say, okay, they're ready?
That happened Sunday. We came in, and I'm pissed. I hate losing. Right, our players are pissed. That's part of being a competitor. I think when you watch our teams play, we play with a certain edge and competitive spirit because we want to win. We want to put ourselves in the best position to be successful. But when you come up short, there is a reason. And I thought last week was the best week of practice that we've had. And I told our guys in the locker room, I couldn't focus on last week's preparation for anything that we came up short in that game, but there were 5 weeks prior. And every rep matters, every practice matters, everything that you're doing, building to what you want to accomplish. You've got to be consistent with that. So I'm very encouraged from what I saw in practice last week to what that could mean for us this week. And that's going to be a big part of how we play is going to be how we prepare. And this because you turn on film, this is a really good football team that's coming in here. And so I'm excited about it. You're talking about getting past it. You have to move on. That's part of this game. But it doesn't mean you have to be happy about it. But you learn from the experience, and you get your eyes up, and you start pressing forward for what you need to do to be successful this week.
Have you received any further explanation from the league about?
I have not.
When you say you're pissed, you mean you're pissed at the loss, at losing, not necessarily at that one play. The pissed is referring broadly,
Yes, sir.
Or it's both.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen? Mike Rasco did say today they saw indisputable visual evidence. Have you seen anything that amounts to indisputable visual evidence?
I've seen what I watch our coaches copy, and I watch obviously the TV copies and things like that. So that answer your question?
Yes.
Not really.
It didn't change your mind at all from how you felt after the game, did it? From what you thought?
Yeah.
Claybrooks made his debut this week. What's your evaluation of his play in his first game?
Chris played, I think it was 25 to 30 snaps. He was able to get in special teams a little bit. He was flying around. There were some things that were, technique that we got to continue to clean up, but it was good to see him on the field. And, he's a great athlete, a great competitor. It looked like game one for him. And so we got to accelerate, him in practice this weekend, which is hard because you have to have a fine balance of allowing him to get back into game shape, to play a bigger load, but then also making sure that we're being that he's getting enough of the repetitions to go out there and be successful.
Does the fact that you last year climbed back into it, you don't have to climb into it, but the fact that it turned out the way it did, you just focused on what was in front of you, does that help sell it again to this team this year?
We've had that experience, and so yes, at the end of the day, it's all about tomorrow's practice. It's all about what our guys are doing today on their off day to prepare them for Saturday. That has to be our focus. And I'll tell you, Jeff, I think that showed up on Saturday. There's a lot of teams that you sit down there and you turn the ball over 3 times in the first quarter, and you look up at the scoreboard seeing you're down 16-0, and there's not a whole lot of teams that are going to respond the way ours did, and they kept battling back. Even when we had a mistake here or a mistake there on all sides of the ball, they rallied. We made a decision to go for it on a 4th down and 1 in the middle of the field, did not get it. And we've been very successful in those situations, but our defense responded. T.J. Carter, they get the ball within the 5-yard line, he rips it out, gets a takeaway. That shows why you just play the next play, why you focus on the one that's in front of you, why you focus on today, is so that you can put yourself in the best position to worry about just this week. And I can tell you, if anybody wants to see a championship caliber game, come Saturday. Because I'm telling you, this Tulane team, they are one of the best teams that we will play this year. I said that last week about Temple, and I think that showed up to be a really good football team in a lot of different ways. This team that we're playing is one of the best teams, best coach. I mean, it's going to be a heck of a matchup.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. It seemed like all 4 of the turnovers happened in RPO situations, or something similar. Correct me
Not,
if I'm wrong.
yeah, there were 2 that 2 of the 4 were, yes. And so, but one of them was just it was a drop back pass. We were trying to push the ball down the field. We got beat. Up front when we got sacked, it was the ball came out. That's something we got to do a better job of. Sometimes rather than trying to do too much, just taking a sack is sometimes the best play. And I think we're trying to get out of it. We only had one hand on the ball, and then the ball came out. So.
Well, you mentioned that you didn't think it was your best called game. Did it relate to the turnovers? Did it relate to more than that?
No, I mean there's times you come out of a game. Every call that I made, I thought was a call that could be successful. There were certain calls that I wish I would have went back to more often. If that's so, I evaluate every game and every thought, every decision that I make, and there were things that we could have went back to. I think that in certain situations, it just it's part of my reflection.
Coach, how do you counsel Brady this week? I know you wanted to say if they're run, and he did run it a couple of times, but he ended up unfortunately putting the ball on the ground. About ball security, or just about no? If you see it run. Go ahead.
Yeah, we I don't know if there's any team in the country that probably works and practices ball security as much as we do. But it's got to show up. It has to show up on game day. There's not at any moment where I think Brady had the intention of saying, hey, this would be a good time to put the ball on the ground. But sometimes you try to do a little bit too much, and you lose focus on your fundamentals, and that's where stepping up in the pocket on the one, trying to evade a rush, and the guy knocks the ball out of his hand, and we can't have that at that time. The play where he kind of scrambled up, on the 2nd and 10 there late in the game, the last fumble, he's going down, guy hits him right on the ball. That's something that we can fundamentally get better at. He had one really bad decision on the interception. That's one that I think he said in the post-game press conference, it was a really bad decision. He knows that. We got to eliminate those. Those can't show up. And then the exchange, we had you had something that Drake was, we had a true freshman that was in the game, and we have an exchange issue. As coaches, we got to make sure we're putting them in that type of situation. So that's something I put on myself, that maybe those 2 guys haven't had enough of that type of exchange with that type of intensity with it. So I could take that one just because of what ended up happening.
This time of year, injury is a big part of the game. Any update on injuries? Anybody lose throughout the game?
Not really. I think we came out of it. Zay Collins did not play in the game this last week. He ended up. We thought he would have a chance, but he ended up not playing in the game. I think we'll get him back this week. Dylan played. But I expect him to be back full speed. Carlito, we'll see. He actually came out of the game a lot better than what I expected. As a scary moment there on the field, but he's come out of it better than what I feared could have been the issue. But we'll see exactly where that goes as we get closer. Patrick, there's really no change in status. I mean, we'll see. And at the end of the day, we're approaching it day to day. I know he had his best week last week. Felt very confident in how his rehab is coming, and so we'll see where that leads us here as the week progresses.
With this Tulane team being, you said, the best you've seen, how much of an effect is it just because of what they bring with experience, and how much is it from having obviously someone who's a great offensive mind and Coach Hall on staff now?
Are you talking about their offense specifically
Their
or their
offense
team?
mainly, yes, as far as
Okay,
their offense.
I think you see a well-coached team with really good football players, and you know, obviously I've got a ton of respect for Will and the job that he does. You know, last year I was honored to be able to work with him and what he brought to our offense, and you know, as a position coach, and you know, I expected when he took the job at you know, there as offense coordinator, that great things would happen for that offense, and you know, he hasn't disappointed. He's done a wonderful job in you know, what they're doing schematically. You know, utilizing the playmakers that they have. You know, I think he's got the quarterback playing really well. You know, you look at McMillan, and you know, he's a winner. I mean, I think you look at the number of games that he started. You know, really after our game, which he came in last year. You know, he's got a phenomenal record. You know, he very rarely makes a mistake. And then Will's playing a lot to his strengths, and they've got some dynamic players on the perimeter that definitely can win the one-on-one matchup.
What happened last year in New Orleans? Does that play into this at all? Do you use that as motivation this week?
You know, there are two different teams, and there are a lot of things that I think just the respect level from our team for our opponent. You don't have to. You go turn on film. We got our butts kicked, and that was reality. And you know, you go watch that game. You know, every person can see themselves that they had the opportunity to play in the game, but you know, we also, you know, both teams are different. They've evolved. Like I said, you know, they have a new offensive coordinator. Defensively, their guys are more experienced as a defensive front. You know, they were young last year and really got after us, and you know, now they're just got a little bit more experience, and so you know, it's going to be a great challenge.
I think for me, do you think that since the teams in the American now are so much better, like I think everybody but Tulsa is either getting votes or ranked somewhere in the poll, that it really helps you focus going down the stretch? You don't have to worry about not being up or down.
We've got a great league, and the teams in this league have done a wonderful job in recruiting. The coaches in this league are some of the best in the country, and so you sit there and there's no time to really focus, to worry about your focus. It's going to take everything you have each and every week to go out there and play your best. Because if you don't play your best, you're going to get beat. I think that's the case with any good league. I mean, you see teams, you know, that were highly ranked last week. They got beat by teams that weren't ranked. And so you know, if you don't play your best in a competitive league, you'll get beat. And so it's going to take our best effort this week to have a chance to be successful. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.